Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be using our Ninja Creami Breeze to make strawberry cheesecake ice cream. This is one you really don't want to miss. So you ready? Let's get into this. For this recipe you'll need some Kroger Carbmaster milk, some Enlightened sugar-free ice cream cones, fresh strawberries, egg yolks, some sugarless graham crackers, cream cheese, some vanilla whey protein, monk fruit sweetener. We're actually going to be dividing that up because we're going to be using some for the ice cream and some for the strawberry sauce. A little vanilla extract, some white vinegar, and 1 medium-sized lemon. Just a quick note, all the ingredients and measurements are down in the description of the video along with the calorie count, the protein, the carbs, and the fat. If you happen to be doing this on the larger Ninja Creami Deluxe, we have all the measurements for that one down there too. The first thing we want to do is prep our ingredients, which is just the strawberries and lemon. Don't be leaving those stickers on there either. Okay, we'll start with the strawberries. All we want to do with these is cut the stem off and just sort of dice them up. We don't got to cut them down really small because we're going to be cooking these. So just cut the tops off really quickly. Cut as close as you can to the green part. Probably gonna have a little bit of waste, but who cares? Not that big a deal. Just be careful to keep your fingers out of the path of your knife when you're cutting these. You don't need to go really fast. It's not a race. With our lemon, we're gonna be doing a couple of different things here. We're gonna make some lemon zest, and we need some lemon juice. You want to get your zest first because it's a heck of a lot harder to get zest off of little tiny fragments of lemon than it is to get it off the whole lemon. Your best bet is to have a lemon zester like this. If you don't, you can always use a grater or something like that. It's not going to work as well, but it'll still get you through. And we are going to want to take all of the zest off of this lemon, anyway, as much as we can. And really, it's just the shiny part for the most part. The zest has tons and tons of flavor. Be careful not to zest your fingers, because that hurts. Trust me, I know, because I've done that a few times. And really, if you've never done this before, it's still not going to take you longer than maybe a minute or two. So that is if you have one of these zesters. And when you get done, you have a little bit of zest, like that, and you'll have a really ugly looking lemon, like that. So now we are going to cut this lemon in half, take a small mixing bowl, grab yourself a small strainer, and we're going to put all that lemon juice in here. You can do this without the strainer, but keep in mind, if you've got seeds in here, they could end up in your ice cream, and that is not the preferable way to get this done. Next, we'll add in the egg yolks to our lemon juice. And we're going to want to beat these until they get thick and kind of more of a light yellow color. You don't want to be really dark like this. Once it starts to lighten up like this, we can add in our monk fruit sweetener. So we'll throw that in, and we're going to stir this and combine it. And we'll want to keep stirring this until it looks nice and smooth. We don't want to see chunks of sweetener in there or anything like that. We want this to look nice, smooth, and combined. You may or may not be able to get this totally combined. If you can still see a little bit of undissolved stuff at the bottom, that's okay. We just want to get this as combined as we possibly can. And once you've done that, we can go ahead and add in our Kroger Carbmaster milk. So we'll pour that in and just mix that in as well. And we're going to want to stir this until there's no color variation. And of course we want to try to dissolve that sweetener down a little bit more as well. Pretty well mixed, so it's time to heat up our mixture. Next, we're going to take a medium-sized saucepan and set that to medium-high heat. I usually set it just a hair past medium, and we're going to pour in our mix that we just got done stirring up. Our target temperature for this is going to be somewhere between 165 and 170 degrees Fahrenheit. That's so we can temper the eggs because they are raw eggs. Most eggs are pasteurized, you won't have that problem, but it's very hard to tell whether your eggs are pasteurized or not, so better to be safe than sorry. So as this heats up, we're going to keep stirring it once in a while to make sure nothing burns at the bottom of the pan. And once this reaches about 110 degrees, we're going to stir in the whey protein. Okay, it looks like we're ready to add in our whey protein now. So we'll stir that in. Just do it a little bit at a time. So we don't want it to clump any more than it has to. Depending on which brand of whey protein you use, you could have more or less clumping problems. I use Dymatize Hydolized whey protein. In addition to it tasting really good, it is really easy to keep it from clumping too.
12 o'clock midnight.
Alright, and this looks like it's just about ready to come off, so let's get this off the heat. Now we're going to take a clean mixing bowl, pour our mix back in there, and we're going to mix in our cream cheese. For the cream cheese, be sure that you've had this sitting out for at least an hour or so because you want it to be as close to room temperature as it can. And we want to smush this down and mix it in really good. And once we don't see any chunks of cheese in here floating around, we can add in our vanilla extract, stir that in. Then we can set this aside and work on our sauce. While that's cooling down, we're going to heat a small saucepan on medium-low heat. Once you've got that set, we'll throw in our strawberries, our other thing of monk fruit sweetener, and our white vinegar. Oh, and I almost forgot, the lemon zest. Throw that in there too. Okay, for this, we'll stir that around, make sure everything gets combined. Don't be afraid to crush these down a little bit because we're just basically letting this simmer and let the heat break all this stuff down for us. We don't have to make this a super smooth sauce because it's going to be a mix-in and ice cream, so we really don't want it to be. And we probably want to leave it a little bit chunky anyway. So just stir this around just so you get a nice even coat of vinegar and sweetener and zest on all the little different areas in here. And then once you've done that, we can just sort of let this sit, and we're just going to stir it and mush some stuff down every once in a while until we get a good looking sauce out of this. After about 10 or 15 minutes or so, you should have something that looks sort of like this. You can see it's nice and thick. It's still got big chunks of strawberries in here, but they're mostly broken down. This is pretty much the way we want it. You can see that this looks a little bit soupy, but it's going to thicken as it cools too. So once it looks like this, we're pretty much good to go on it. So we can take this off the heat, and now we can break out our creamy pint. On the Ninja Creami Breeze, just sort of ignore that arrow right here because that arrow is not pointing to the max fill line. That arrow is just there to line up the lid, but it can be a little bit confusing because it kind of looks like those go together. This line here is actually the max fill line for this, but we're not even going to be using that. We only want to fill our creamy pint about 3/4 of the way up because we want to leave room for the strawberry stuff later on. So we're going to pour this in. And once we get about right here, that's where you want to stop. Now we're going to pop on the lid, and then this thing is going into the freezer for at least 24 hours. Be sure you have some clear space in your freezer so this can sit nice and level. As far as our strawberry sauce goes, we're going to want to put that in the Tupperware and put it in the refrigerator. We don't want this going in the freezer because this is going to be a mix-in along with the graham crackers. So throw on a lid and we'll leave this in the refrigerator until we're ready to eat our ice cream.
2,000 years later.
After it's been a day, we can remove our pint from the freezer and we can set this out on the countertop with our graham crackers and our strawberry sauce that we made the other day as well. Normally you'd want this to sit out for about 15 minutes or so just to let it defrost on its own just for a little bit so you don't end up with crumbly ice cream. But in our case, we have a really wet mix-in that we're going to be using, so we're not really going to need to do that. For our sugar-free graham crackers, we can go ahead and break these up into smaller pieces. You don't have to worry about really breaking it up into tiny pieces or anything, just pieces that are about this size or so. It's going to get broken up further by the creamy whenever it gets processed. We just want to make that job not so difficult, and we don't want big, huge chunks of graham cracker floating around either. So once that's looking about like that, you're pretty good. The next thing we have to do is process this ice cream without our mix-ins. So we'll throw on this lid here, turn on your Creami Breeze, lock in the container. And since we're doing sugarless ice cream, we're gonna hit the light ice cream button. By the way, if this is your first time here and you wanna learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Looks like somebody's ready to eat ice cream. Once that's done with the initial processing, we can release this and pop off the lid. You can see that this looks really crumbly, just kind of like I said it was going to. That's perfectly fine because we're going to fix that with our mix-in. So we're just going to sort of push this down a little bit to make a little bit of space. And we'll add in our strawberry sauce and our graham crackers. Then we're going to throw that lid back on again, lock this back up into the machine, and this time we're just going to hit the mix-in button. Alright, that's done. Let's check this out. And that is looking really good. If you'd like to learn some more about Joe's Phenomenal, you can either watch a couple more videos or you can check us out online at joesphenomenal.com. If you are a cheesecake lover, you're absolutely going to love this recipe. It tastes just like New York style cheesecake with strawberry sauce on top, except it's better for a couple of reasons. First, you're skipping all those calories. Second, that whey protein is going to make it a really high protein snack. And third, it's ice cream. Duh. If you'd like a little bit more information about the Ninja Creami Breeze that we used in this video, we do have an Amazon affiliate link for it down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, we do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. If you like this video, then I bet you're really going to like this video right here where we show you how to make high protein pistachio ice cream. With that one, we're using that same formula. High protein, low calories, no sugar, but huge on the flavor. Gotta check that one out. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you again really soon. And until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.